right, we'll call the meeting to order then. And start with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Can I remind council to turn on your microphones?
Are there any changes to the agenda?
I just want to note that there is an amended claims and electronic fund transfers for you guys, so that would, you need to adopt the consent agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Amanda, second by Kate. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No presentation, proclamations, or acknowledgement. Is anyone here for public comment? Anybody online? Nope. All right, we'll close public comment. And then move to the consent agenda. So does anyone want anything from the consent agenda pulled?
Motion to approved consent agenda
As amended?
as amended.
Second.
Motion by Amanda, second by Kate. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearings. We have none. General business, none. Move into reports, administration.
First item is follow-up on a previous council discussion regarding council community outreach. The council wanted to create opportunities where they can interact with the community outside of council meetings in a more informal setting. Staff looked into it, and the recommendation, and the council had indicated they wanted to do maybe start with 2 or 3 events this year and see how it goes. Staff is suggesting that we incorporate that into 2 events we're already participating in. One is the spring home show, which is put on by the Chamber of Commerce. We regularly have a table there, and so that would be on Saturday, March 7th, and we would suggest that we have a contingent of council members at that event to participate. And then also the community picnic in August, which is another event where we get a good cross-section of the community that comes. And it's our event, so we can set up the participation element with the council however we would like to. So I guess what we'd be looking for is feedback on that idea, on that recommendation. And but I just underscore that for either of those to be successful, it requires a commitment of council participation to be able to do it. So just seeking feedback from council.
I think it's great. Unfortunately, March 7th, I will not be back yet to attend, but you can plan on me for the 22nd.
Sorry, what's on the 22nd again?
Of August is the
Oh,
community
the
picnic.
community picnic.
I like it as long as we're intentional about marketing, that it's more of like an opportunity for people to ask questions too.
Yep.
Especially the picnic.
So I think at the picnic, we might want to, because of the nature of the event at the home show, people are coming by and we'll have boards and it's a little more interactive. At the picnic, we might want to create something like a game or something that just gets people engaged and over to the table, so to speak, and we can work on that, come back with recommendations. So what I'm hearing is their support for the event. So what I'll do is I will connect with council and get commitments for those that are available, and we'll work around what we do based on who's able to attend. We also talked about it, and we thought it might not be a bad idea to maybe schedule an event over the lunch hour or morning coffee event, maybe getting into the winter months at the senior high rise if our other events are being good. Sometimes the police department will go over and do something on fraud or whatnot. And that if they're open to it, that might be a good event to do there as well.
That sounds like a really good idea.
Okay, I think I have what I need on that.
Can I ask some more questions about the event at the Home and Garden Show? What are your thoughts for how that's handled? I mean, Brandon and I have been talking about possibly using that as a method to advertise for community feedback regarding a specific chapter in the comprehensive plan. Right now, we were thinking housing. unless you just want to leave it more open-ended. And I think last year we had MAP, I think, was it you and Brandon that attended last year? And we just developed a map that had all of like our active community development projects on, and it was just more open-ended. Is that correct?
I think it brought a lot of people in too, where they were
Okay.
curious of, oh, I didn't
Okay.
know this was happening over here, and
The two
yeah.
might play on themselves if you show, here's what's going on in the
Sure.
community, and then while you're here, can we get your feedback on that? And since we're talking about development, most of that's
Sure.
residential, the two might
Yeah.
go hand in hand.
Yep. Okay, Brandon and I have some ideas of, in more of a Survey Monkey, or maybe having like a QR code that would lead to Survey Monkey that could do another time, or some even paper ones handed out, but actually having examples of pictures, because you can't really ask a resident, do you support 40-foot lots? They don't know what that means. But maybe having pictures of housing and leading into it with some of the city's current goals regarding housing. And, like Josh had kind of mentioned at a council meeting recently, providing opportunities for people of all ages and all economic conditions to live in our community, and what does that mean? But
I like the idea. I think that's a great idea. Because then they feel like they're more involved because you're actually asking them for their feedback.
and the planning commission is really interested before, doing any more adjustments to our standards of hearing from the community. So that's just one idea.
I think that should be part of like you could do it as like part of the promotion of like, we'll be there, would be like, you could ask questions like this, and then you could also put like, measure out 40 feet or from like the booth to wherever, and like put an X, like that's how big this 40 feet is. Because it's hard to know. I don't know what my lot size is.
Yeah, we don't, well, it's gonna come quick, and Brandon and I have been meeting on it. But it's gonna be here before we know it, so we should have something finalized in the next week or two.
I like it. Sounds wonderful.
The next item is Commissioner Interview Panel. So that is coming up. We'll need to schedule it based on the availability of the panelists, but we're looking at March 2nd or the evening of March 2nd or 3rd. And doing both commissions at once. Typically, we only have 2 or 3 applicants for each commission, so that shouldn't be too hard to accomplish. This time, as the memo noted, our practice has been to have one council member, the primary staff liaison to that commission, and then the chair of the commission, unless it's the chair themselves that are up. And then typically, we've had another staff liaison or somebody else. I've typically been tapped in the past for that. The Parks Commission, Chair Sutton is up, so we've proposed that I would sit in for those interviews. And then Renee would sit in for Planning Commission, and Brandon would sit in for Parks, because those are their primary charges. So we just need a council person to fill it out, if you guys are okay with that arrangement.
I will be gone.
I will also be gone.
Well, Andrew and Josh are not here, so
It's typically like evening for those.
Yes.
Shortly after 5, typically.
Usually we start at like 5:30. The mayor will not be able to participate based on his work schedule.
okay. No pressure, Amanda.
Josh is it. I was hoping he was going to be on remotely so we could tell him that.
Can we reach out to Josh and ask him if he would be available to do it?
Yes.
I know I can't do the 3rd because I have evening hockey.
Okay. So potentially Amanda on the 2nd or Josh. Okay.
Yes.
If it's okay with the council, I'll coordinate with those two and get a commitment, and then we'll schedule accordingly.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Good.
The third item is the mobile food unit discussion. This was an item that came up at a previous council meeting about restrictions on the number of days that mobile food units can operate in the community under certain conditions. So the purpose of this memo was primarily informational, to get back to the council with what does state statute actually say and what does our ordinance, which can be more restrictive but not less restrictive than state statute. And essentially what it comes down to is under state statute, a mobile food unit or a food truck cannot operate on a single property more than 21 days over the course of the year, unless it is directly connected to a business. Doesn't mean that it has the same person owning two separate businesses, but it's literally the same business entity. So like a common one that every people might have seen is Baldy's Food Truck. The food truck actually operates under the Baldy's business license. It's actually part of the same business. But if you have the same owner who has ABC Hardware and then has XYZ Food Truck, even though it's the same ownership, it's not the same business, you don't get that exemption. So under state statute, 21 days one property, there is no limit either under city ordinance or state statute on the total number of days they operate in a community, as long as they're moving around and aren't in the same place more than 21 days. The restriction that we have in our ordinance that is greater than statute or more restrictive than statute is you can't be on the same property for more than 7 consecutive days. So 1 week in one spot consecutively.
So somebody could be 21 days at End Zone, 21 days at Firehouse, 21 days at
Correct.
wherever, okay.
Yep. So it's actually pretty open. Both, by looking at it, you can see that both state statute and our ordinance are generally trying to provide some restrictions on mobile food units, which to provide direct competition, to basically be a brick and mortar business on wheels without being brick and mortar. And I think that's where the 21 days, they can move around, they go to different locations, but I can't set up my taco stand directly across from your Mexican restaurant for the street and stay there forever. It'd be a limited period of time or a limited number of times over the year.
Okay.
So we brought that back because it was a discussion that came up, and I guess we're seeking direction from council. Do you want to do anything with the ordinance, or is this just informational at this point?
Well, it sounds like it's a Minnesota statute, so there's not much we can do with it,
Other than the 7 days.
other than the 7 days.
Other than the 7 days, correct. So under statute, you could sit in the same spot 21 consecutive days if you wanted to. Local ordinance is more restrictive so that you'd have a maximum of 7 days in a row. But the total of the 21 is the same regardless.
I'm not big on changing it. I think it's fine as
I,
is.
I think said person will be fine.
I do too. I'm just operating 7 days in a row is not allowed. What if it's there?
And it's not operating, it's just parked.
It's okay.
I didn't research that.
That's a question we,
It didn't say anything in the ordinance, operating, like defining it as, like, you can't be parked there for more than 7 days. I interpreted it as you can't operate 7 days in a row.
that's what I interpret it. Whether or not it can be parked there would probably be more of a zoning issue than a food truck operation issue.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, because I can, outside, there's more than one example of mobile food units
Yep.
parked on private property, on the owner's private property within our city. So it's not just,
Mhm.
I'm not just going for, one person, but I think that makes sense. I don't think we need to change it.
Okay, so we'll research the parking part of it and get back to council on that if you want us to. Otherwise, we'll,
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, just so we know that nothing comes back to hurt these people.
The ordinance says I guess I'd consider a commercial vehicle, and commercial vehicle parking in commercial zoning districts. Class 1 and Class 2 commercial vehicles may be parked in commercial zoning districts, subject to the requirements of Chapter 9 and 26, which I would maybe have to research further, but preliminary indications are that it's okay in downtown or commercial districts.
Okay.
And then in residential, there may be some size, again, I guess I'll have to research those chapters later. If there's anything that is concerning, we can bring it back.
Okay. Thank you.
That's all I have, unless there's anything else for administration.
Move on to Public Works then.
Corey did not have anything else to report beyond what was in the memo.
Chief, anything from Police Department?
Just wanted to give a shout out to Officer Patolf, Zach. A few days ago, he was on just patrols like around 4 p.m. and ended up arresting a wrong way drunk driver who had a teen in the vehicle with him, and they were over twice the legal limit, and a chronic offender. It was actually a felony level DUI. So just a shout out to him that it can happen at any time and can be very dangerous, and the guys are out there actively trying to stop that kind of stuff. That's it.
Fire Department, assuming nothing.
Oh, back to Public Works, one thing I would report, we received 35 applications for the Public Works position. To qualify that, 35 applications does not mean 35 qualified or quality applicants, but it was a fairly large pool, so we're hoping we'll be able to find somebody within that pool. We're looking to have interviews in about 2 weeks.
Back to Fire.
Jay did not have anything for me to report.
Engineering.
There's a update in your packet, if there's any questions on that. Otherwise, that's all I got. I can do my dad joke. It's been a while here. I just had it. Why did the sewer line break up with the storm sewer? Too much emotional overflow. I was gonna make a joke about the municipal budget, but it got cut.
Those are good. That's good. That's good.
But yeah, if there's any questions on what's in the packet, happy to answer.
Nothing.
No.
Community Development.
I had a few things in the packet if you have any questions on, just reported the Planning Commission accomplishments from 2025 and some goals they adopted for 2026. Included an updated vacant lot inventory and meeting minutes.
Just from my perspective, when you look at it in summary, Planning Commission did a lot of work in 2025. Renee, was there any high-level takeaways when you were doing the work on the vacant lot inventory?
Well, my high-level takeaway was that I feel like we've platted so many more lots. I was expecting that we would have a lot more vacant lots than we did last year at this time. But because we're also issuing so many building permits at the same time, there's pretty similar amount of vacant lots as last year. I think there was maybe 10 more or something like that. Healthy supply, but at the rate that the nationals are building, they'll go quick.
Anything from Parks?
Brandon did not have anything specific.
CCEC.
Nothing as of right now.
Other boards, Scale, that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
When is the executive committee?
It's the week after.
Next
Okay.
Friday.
And service delivery?
When is the Monday after that, I believe.
And I-35, that was this morning, no major updates. Talked about transportation again, a little bit of a legislative update with it being an election year. Not super convinced a lot of infrastructure funding will come through, so. But then we don't have Josh for LMC, Metro Cities Policy Committee.
Yeah, and we're in the off-season for that right now, so
Yeah.
that'll start up here in about 2 or 3 months, so 2 months.
All right, any discussion by council?
Good job.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn then.
Motion to adjourn.
And a second.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.